Let's get started. We're talking in this video about a major and ambitious but completely necessary project, the top to bottom overhaul of South Africa's energy system by the legislated deadline of 2050. This isn't just about building a few new power plants. No, this is fundamentally rewiring the entire energy system of the country. So how do we even begin to do that? How do we transform an energy system which has for decades depended completely on coal? South Africa was basically built on coal. It fueled the power plants that fed electricity to its cities. It powered the mines. It was the very bedrock of the economy. But, and this is the big but, that foundation is now cracking. It's cracking under the climate crisis and the necessary pressure of decarbonization. And wow, this slide right here, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? That massive, massive slice for coal says everything you need to know. We're talking about a fleet of roughly 40 gigawatts of coal-fired power stations. Now, to completely flip this picture in just over 2 decades, that is truly a monumental task. So, yes, this deep, deep reliance on coal has brought the country to a critical crossroads. The old path, it's just not viable anymore. A new one has to be forged, and within 25 years. So it all comes down to a trade-off. On the one hand, you've got the old coal-based energy system. It's established, but it's reaching the end of its life because of its problems of excessive carbon emissions, low energy security, and high environmental impact. South Africa is one of the most carbon-intensive countries in the world. Many of its power plants are now old and unreliable, and the grid itself can't handle new power where it's needed most. Then we must look at the needs of a future system. Although the future promises us a sustainable, low-emission grid, it comes with its own set of challenges, such as large upfront costs and finding solutions to the intermittency of renewable energy, working out how to manage a power supply that isn't always available. But here is the good news. There is already some light at the end of the tunnel. Planners have modeled a bunch of different pathways, from a super aggressive rapid transition to a more moderate, slower pace. And here is the key takeaway. Every single credible scenario shows a massive irreversible shift away from coal and full steam ahead towards renewable energy. That's the only way to hit that net zero target by 2050. So, if all that coal power is going away, what exactly replaces it? Well, the answer isn't one single magic bullet. It's a whole toolkit of different technologies that have to work together. First up, and this is the big one, solar and wind. They are by far the cheapest way to generate a new kilowatt hour of electricity. The challenge, however, is that they are non-dispatchable. You can't just flip a switch and turn on the sun. So what do you do when it's a calm, cloudy evening and the demand is peaking? Well, that brings us to player number 2, batteries. Battery energy storage, or BESS. Batteries are absolutely essential as partners to renewables. Think of them like a giant energy sponge. They soak up all that cheap solar power during the middle of the day, and then they supply it back onto the grid during the evening peak. It's all about smoothing out the supply. And what about longer periods? Those few days of really bad weather. Then you need a different tool, and that's where flexible gas power comes in. These plants can be fired up quickly to act as a backstop, just to make sure the lights stay on. And this is important. It's not meant to replace coal as the new power source. Not at all. It's there to provide crucial stability for grid. Now, all of this new technology and infrastructure, it all comes with a price tag, and it's a very, very big one. Yeah, according to some models, the total investment needed by 2050 could be as high as 4.2 trillion rand. Just let that number sink in for a second. It's a staggering figure, and it really highlights the sheer scale of this whole financial undertaking. And that money isn't just for shiny new solar panels and wind turbines. A huge, huge proportion of it has to go into building out the grid itself. Think of it this way. Building massive solar farms out in the sunny Northern Cape without upgrading the transmission lines to get that power to the city, that doesn't make much sense. It's like building giant factories but having no roads to get your products to the market. It just doesn't work. So how do you mobilize that kind of capital? Well, you need a sophisticated financial toolkit. We're talking about combining everything from public-private partnerships and international climate funding all the way to tax incentives that encourage private companies to invest in these massive infrastructure projects. But this transformation is about so much more than just technology and finance. It's also about people. It's about making sure that this transition away from coal is fair, especially to the communities that have literally powered the country for generations. A just transition can't just be jargon. It has to be a concrete plan. And it is. It means things like reskilling coal workers for the new jobs of the future. It means turning old power plant sites into brand new hubs for economic activity. And it means actively building up local manufacturing for all this new green technology. And this isn't some afterthought either. It's right there in the country's official Just Energy Transition Investment Plan. It says the transition is just, essentially protecting vulnerable workers and communities affected by the shift away from coal. The goal is baked into the plan from the start. It makes sure that no one gets left behind. So there we have it. The roadmaps are drawn, the technologies are understood, and the price tag, while absolutely massive, is known. The what and how much are getting clearer and clearer every day. Really, the only questions that are answered are the details, such as the roadmaps for specific sectors and the implementation thereof. Can South Africa navigate the immense logistics, financial and social challenges to actually build this clean, reliable, and just energy grid of tomorrow? Well, together we can.